Now, what will you do if you get yourself into this kind of a situation? Now, there's a case here. Someone rented a house in Nairobi, and he has been operating business for 3 years, paying rent every month. It has reached a time he's making a lot of money, and the landlord has told him, you have to vacate, because he has seen that the client is making a lot of money and the rent is charging so low. And due to jealousy, the landlord wants to start a business similar to what that person is doing, or he wants to bring someone to do similar business. Now, if you reach this point, what should you do? This person is in dilemma, and this happens in most cases in Kenya. When you are starting business, you don't know where it's headed, but somehow it becomes profitable. You see very huge lines, and the profits are soaring, are going up and up. The problem is, if you have a jealous landlord, he'll come and give you a notice to vacate. And imagine that time you have settled, you have set targets, you are comfortable, and the house belongs to the landlord. This is what has happened to one of us, and such cases happen. Now, if you are operating a business or you are starting a business in Kenya, the first thing you should do is to monitor the performance of that business. If you operate for a couple of years or months and you see that it's booming, the best thing to do is to call the landlord and tell him that you want to lease the premise for years. You can lease for 10 years, for 15 years, so that you can prevent him from interfering with your business or telling you to increase rent anytime they wish that you should increase. Because if a landlord feels that you're making, let's say, 1 million per month and you're paying just 30,000, they'll want you to increase that rent. So to avoid that, ensure that you make a lease agreement. Go to a lawyer and deposit that agreement there. Give a copy to the landlord and keep a copy. In any case, if you find that the landlord wants you to vacate, maybe in the next 1 month, 2 months, you can use the rent tribunal. You go to court and drag the case for some few years. Let's say 1 year, 2 years, so that you can prepare yourself. During those times, you can look for a house where to settle the business. That is another alternative. The rent tribunal might not help you because the agreement was maybe you pay monthly. So the landlord has got powers under rent tribunal unless it's a lease agreement. Another thing you can do, if your business is big enough and you are you have just moved it from somewhere to this current place location before you pay your first month's rent. Just sign a lease agreement. That one will solve so many things. It will solve so many problems. Alternatively, we always advise people, when you start a business and you have plans to do it for several years, it's good to have your own land. If your business is booming, look for land elsewhere. While you are operating here, just start developing that plot. In 2-3 years, you just move your business there. Nobody will disturb you. So that's then another alternative. But if the landlord tells you to vacate, there's nothing you can do. You must vacate. Even if you go to the rent tribunal, they can just delay the vacation, but they cannot prevent the owner from telling you to leave because it's their premise. So this is what is happening to one of our members, and it's very terrible. Business is making millions, but is told to vacate. It happens because of jealousy. Maybe the landlord wants his son to set up a business like that. Maybe the landlord wants to set a business like that. Maybe the landlord wants someone to come and pay twice what you are paying. And if you refuse to vacate, they can even plan something bad for you. So it's good to vacate in peace and move to a different place. So if you are the one who has been given vacation notice, what can you do in that case? And if you are told you are planning to start a business, ensure that you do what you have told you, or else you regret. Kenyan landlords are, most of them will be jealous if you perform extremely well and they see that you are paying them little amount of money, and you're making millions. That's what is happening in most places, and people have suffered because of that.